So anybody that's experienced is going to tell you not to just punch with your arms. I mean, this is common sense in the martial arts world. If you punch with just your arm, you are really shortchanging your striking power. And in some cases, depending on how you're punching, you could be even damaging yourself. But because of that, people tend to forget one of the very, very beneficial key points that you can focus on when striking, and this is focusing on the elbow. Is it Dai Jun Lick we use? I mentioned this before in Wing Chun. It basically just means, well, Jarn is elbow, and Dai is below or under or low. Not sure about Lick, but basically, it means coming from under the elbow. What they're talking about is the tendon that attaches to the triceps. The tendon is incredibly important in being able to extend the arm. Without that tendon, the muscle's pulling against nothing. And your tendon, as with all of your muscles, your tendons are your greatest limiter on your ability to exercise power from those muscles. So in Wing Chun especially, but in several of the Chinese styles, we focus very heavily on tendon development through isometrics and extremely, extremely slow, heavy tension. You see this in Siu Lim Tao all the time. All the focus is behind my elbow here. And then we do the same thing for the elbows on the top with our Wu Sao, drawing backwards. But the idea is working the tendons, because the tendons, whether you know this or not, are some of the primary reasons you are or are not punching or striking with maximum efficiency. The only way to work your tendons is through extreme load, and the only way to get extreme load is either maximum contraction through isometrics, or extremely slow dynamic tension, or through heavy, heavy, heavy maximum lifting. I recommend both. I don't recommend one over the other, I recommend both. But it's not just tendon strength, it's also thinking about what, the path of the punch and what's powering the punch. The overall power you're driving up from the ground, from your movement, from your stance, from your spinal set, your hip drive, all of that is coming into play. But what you really want to understand is that the final motion, the end of the weapon itself, is being driven from under the elbow. And so I want you to think about your elbow first. Think of this as a principle, elbow first. When it's only for punching, of course, but think of elbow first. When we're using straight line punching, if you think about your fist or you think about your shoulder, you're going to be punching from your shoulder, or pulling your arm out from your fist. You don't want to do that. If you focus on what the elbow is doing, you're going to be punching with better alignment, better power, a straighter alignment for your straight punches. You'll be able to lock in your... Thanks, Ember. Ember decided the camera needed to be over there. Anyway, you'll be able to lock in the angles on your hooking punches. But there's one more place where people don't think about it, and it's on your whipping movements. Now you can whip one of two ways, inside and outside, right? So we whip outside. You're leading with the elbow before you hit that hammer fist or knife hand, whatever. But you're leading with the elbow if you're coming out. If I let my arm straighten before I hit my target, then it's all rear delt. A little bit of mid-back, but but it's all the minor muscles that are doing this motion, you know for a fact you don't have much strength here. So if I'm trying to hit somebody and my arm is already straight before I'm on target, then I'm just hitting them with minor muscles. If, however, I allow this hinge to create a secondary point of momentum, line up, use these muscles just to line up the elbow where I need it, say right in front of you. So if I'm here and I'm coming this way, I want to make sure my elbow is pointing at you before the hammer fist comes out. So it creates a whipping type effect. Same thing if I'm coming in with a whipping type punch, guess what? The elbow moves first before the rest of it. The elbow has to move first. The elbow moves slower than the hand. So the elbow has to move first. This is also one of the reasons why, when you're focusing in a fight, when you're beginning out, they tell you focus on the elbows and the knees, because the elbows and knees will move before the hands and feet do. Really, you should be seeing everything and looking at nothing, but that's rather advanced. But I digress. So anyway, be present in your elbow when you are punching. This is a very important concept. So elbow first. Think of elbow on linear punches. Think of elbow on hook punches. Think of elbow on the whipping punches. Elbow always first. Talk to you guys later. Good journey.